Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Minister of Health. I was pretty optimistic when I heard the Liberals might finally do the right thing and support our hospitals. But according to the Ontario Health Coalition, the Liberals' budget, to quote them, barely made a dent. They said the funding will hardly even cover inflation, and it certainly won't be enough to sustain the current system. That's from the Ontario Health Coalition. It seems it was just enough to get a few Liberal-friendly quotes. Mr. Speaker, after years of freezing budgets and cutting health care and hospitals left, right and centre, will the minister admit this money doesn't cut it? They're not actually meeting the needs of Ontario's hospitals.
Minister of Health, Long-Term Care.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I honestly don't know where to begin. I don't know if I should be talking about the 24 hospitals that they closed when they were last in power, or I don't know if I should talk about when the leader of the official opposition, when he was part of a government in Ottawa that ended the health services provided to refugees in this country, Mr. Speaker. There are so many examples. Or their promise to cut 100,000 jobs, many of them in health care. But I am going to choose to talk about our investments. It goes on and on.
I'm giving you what you want. We're going to warnings, and I'll immediately use them. Finish, please.
But I choose to talk about our investments as articulated by the Minister of Finance in our budget, Mr.
The member from Leeds Grenville is warned.
An additional $9 billion to construct new hospitals in this province, making a total of $20 billion over the next.
The member from Niagara Glanbrook is warned. New question, or supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, again to the Minister of Health, there is a trend here. When the government can't defend their own record, they point fingers, they blame others, they blame past provincial governments, past federal governments. Defend your own record. Be proud of your own record. If you're actually not embarrassed by what you're doing for the—
Stop the clock. The member from Beaches East York is warned. And if you'd like, I'll move to naming. We're getting through this properly. Finish, please.
Mr. Speaker, if you can be proud of your record, you don't need to attack others. Let me give you another example. Jamie Lee Ball spent 5 days on a stretcher in a hallway, and this is what she had to say about this government's budget. When you explain it's just inflation, it's really just shocking to me. I don't understand how that's even negotiable. To offer Canadians their basic rights in regards to health care shouldn't be something they even have to discuss. Jamie Lee Ball is right. When this Liberal government has cut health care for the last 5 years, and you have patients being stuck on stretchers for 5 days in hallways, it's not right. So I'm asking Jamie Lee Ball's question. You didn't do enough for her. You didn't do enough for her. You haven't done enough for patients. When can we expect the government to do the right thing?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Minister of Health.
Mr. Speaker, on this side, we're proud of our record. The member opposite should be embarrassed at his own record, Mr. Speaker. When he was part of government in Ottawa, they closed the Health Council of Canada. When he was part of a government in Canada, in Ottawa, they voted against the Refugee Interim Federal Health Program. They closed the National Aboriginal Health Organization. I can't imagine what the member opposite has in plan for the healthcare system, cutting and slashing. We're investing, Mr. Speaker, $7 billion over the next 3 years to further reduce wait times that are the best in the country, Mr. Speaker, provide better access to care, and to further enhance the patient experience. A 3.3% increase in health spending over the medium term, Mr. Speaker, a 3% increase to our hospitals' operating budgets, more than $500 million infusion on top of last year's $500 million for $1 billion for hospitals.
No supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, again to the Minister of Health, and once again, typical response, they attack others. They can't be proud of the record. Why would they be proud of Jamie Lee Ball?
Start the clock. The member from Etobicoke North is warned. Finish, please.
Mr. Speaker, they shouldn't be proud of the record. Jamie Lee Ball, 5 days on a stretcher in a hallway, and they're proud with what they're doing to healthcare. It's awful, Mr. Speaker. And according to the last Auditor General's report, just 30% of patients observed in hospital ERs made it to an acute care ward in less than 8 hours. They're proud of that 8 hours as the Ministry of Health's own target. What was that? You know, maybe because Ontario has the fewest number of hospital beds per 1,000 people across the country that they accept this. Question. It's not good enough. The people of Ontario, our patients are sick. They deserve better. This government has not delivered. When will they support our patients?
Minister.
Well, the member opposite is just making it up as he goes along, because you can make it up, but the Fraser report, Mr. Speaker, says that 85% of ER patients are getting treatment within the 8-hour target for complex patients and 89% within the 4-hour target for minor patients. In fact, ER wait times for the sickest patients have been cut by almost 30%, while at the same time the volumes that we're seeing in our ERs have increased by 40%, Mr. Speaker. More patients being seen, shorter wait times, to the point where also CIHI, the Canadian Institute for Health Information, is further proof that our government has made great progress. Hip replacements, 85% completed within the medical benchmark, higher than the national average. Knee replacement, higher than the national average. 99% of radiation therapy within the medical benchmark, Mr. Speaker, also above the national average. Every single metric, we are near, if not at the top, of the national performance in wait times, Mr. Speaker.